Yo, it's the Twin Bill Show. It's the two twins that you got to know. This song's better than the one in the movie about the plumbers. It didn't move me.
Word to your mother.
What'd you say?
Word to your mother.
Oh, sorry, turn my volume a little bit. Uh, yes, it's Twin Bill, the show where the two twins are better in every way than the Mario Brothers in this movie. I said it. Called the Twin Brothers. All right. Uh, how's it going, Marcus?
Um, Pretty good, pretty good. Got the Thanksgiving coming up, so a short week of non of work
Yeah.
coming up.
Yep. Time to be thankful for things like there's not another Super Mario Brothers movie to watch. Okay, I gotta stop trashing this movie. But uh, I want to briefly mention if you're watching this on YouTube, why not go click on the Jason Luna thing and go to videos and watch one of my political videos because put a lot of work into them and they look really good and no one's watching them. I did one this week about Mike Johnson reading the Epstein list, but then it turns out it's just facts about Epstein from Welcome Back, Kotter. Comedy gold. I've never seen him do a Mike Johnson impression. It's pretty much just you can't think about Louisiana a little bit and you just do a nerd voice. It's kind of like this is Mike Johnson. That's pretty much how he talks. He's fucking Speaker of the House. Different podcast.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. The reason we're all here. I thought it was funny that like 10% of movies are called the Thing movie. Because technically every movie could be called that, but just this one.
Yeah.
The Emoji Movie. I think Illumination just has a serious title problem.
It's made him a lot of money grabbing onto these this IP that little kids will gobble up.
The cartoon characters people like movie. All right, let's do our usual thing, back and forth, one sentence at a time. As opposed to the 10-word debacle previously. Anyway, check out our Cabin Boy episode for that plug. All right. Anyway, it should be pretty quick because I think there's like one plot line in the whole movie. But you can start.
All right. The movie opens with the Bowsers moving into the castle in the ice world, and the ice birds are insanely
Penguins.
overpowered.
They're penguins.
Gonna be a lot of this. Are insanely overpowered. They're tiny and throw snowballs, and Bowser burns them up and steals their superstar.
Yep. Smash cut to Mario and Luigi, who are two struggling performers in what's vaguely established as Brooklyn with very little set design. And they have a theme song that is a ripoff of the Super Mario Brothers cartoon show from the 90s with Captain Lou Albano. But anyway, they get teased by their former employee who just looks like a taller Mario for no reason.
His name is Spike. Very dumb. And Charles Martinet makes a cameo. It makes he has a little character that makes a cameo in this scene.
Yep. Older Mario who likes playing Mario Bros on a kind of arcade system. Anyway, go ahead, Marcus.
So they're plumbers, shocker, and they're running through. Their car breaks down, so they have to run through town to get to their appointment. And it's like a video game level, jumping up, running how they run across. They have to jump up and avoid obstacles, and they eventually get to the house.
Yeah. I want to briefly mention most obscure Easter egg in the movie to me. The the construction thing they run by is a direct homage to Wrecking Crew, which is technically, I believe, the first NES game to feature Mario. It's like you climb up a construction thing and smash rocks. It's not very good, but yeah.
I
Uh,
didn't catch that.
so at the house, they get a vague job of fixing the plumbing in this nice apartment, and there's an angry dog who foils their attempts to plumb properly.
That dog is very Secret Life of Pets looking.
Illumination.
So yeah, they're very depressed because they break the bathroom, get very wet, almost die. Uh, so the job doesn't go well. So they head home and have dinner with Mario's family, and there's a bunch of family members who are very similar to Mario and Luigi, and
Hilarious. Sorry, that's not very funny.
they're very uh, not happy with how Mario and Luigi's life is going.
Yeah. Uh, they're sad for a while, but then they see on the TV another fairly obscure Easter egg. The mayor is Pauline, just like we'll talk about in a second. Super Mario Brothers Odyssey, and the mayor's like, "Oh, there's this weird stuff going on in the sewers. The whole city's flooding." So naturally, two plumbers sitting in their bedroom are like, "Yeah, we're gonna fix the city's flooding problem by ourselves." Plot.
There's something about Destiny's Calling. Okay, I should have written that joke down. It wasn't funny, but it was a pun on Destiny's Calling.
I forgot that.
Moving on. So they run in and try to deal with the the flooding. So they run down into the sewers, and they don't really do anything. So I guess the city's flooded and people are dying when the rest of the movie happens.
Well, obviously not. By the end, it fixed itself
I know,
somehow.
but
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
some better plumbers come in and fix it. They don't show it. Okay.
I don't know.
So they go further down into the sewers, and they find the green pipes we all love from the Mario Brothers, and they get sucked in. And my thought is, wouldn't more people accidentally get sucked into the pipes? It's weird that they're the first people to ever have it happen. Wouldn't
Well, the flood damage opened the area where the pipe was. That was my interpretation. I'm not saying it was shot that way or super animated well, but so anyway,
there be a bunch of rats and bugs getting?
oop, dead bodies. I mean, you get a lot of options. Uh, yeah, it would just be like it would just be like yeah, like you say, old dirt that's never been excavated if it was like that. But whatever. Yeah. Anyway, they fall through the pipe, and in a very contrived thing that didn't make any sense. I guess it's magic. The pipes go into the clouds, and despite falling in the pipe very similarly, Luigi goes into the pipe that goes to the dark Bowser Land, and Mario goes into the one that goes to the Mushroom Kingdom. It was very like Rube Goldbergian.
Yeah, makes you think in the video games every time you go through a pipe, if it's a you free fall through clouds like that. Uh, so I guess I'll start with the because there's a little bit with Luigi
Yeah, I think Luigi first, then
reducing
Mario.
in the Darkland Woods. What?
I think I have Luigi first, then Mario, but I mean at
I'll do
least
Luigi. I'll do the little Luigi part then. Uh, Luigi goes to the is in the Darkland Woods like you said, and he runs into the Bone Koopas.
dry
Who
bones, dry bones.
I prefer Bone Koopas. You got boned by some Koopas. What? No, this is a kid show. No, it's not. Uh, and he discovers like you do in the games that when you break them, they can rebuild themselves. It's kind of like a decent zombie movie, whatever. And then he runs away and he gets into little Bowser's mini castle after crossing a bridge of lava, and like a horror movie, the Shy Guys are there waiting for him, and then it cuts to where Mario ended up.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, Mario lands in which looks almost exactly like I think this came out after the land that Sonic the Hedgehog comes from in the movie.
Yeah, a lot of mushrooms.
Mushrooms, yeah. Uh, and he meets Toad, who's like a very Toad-like, chipper, nice guy. Convinced Mario's his best friend. Mario's not so sure. Comedy gold. All right, and then kind of skipping a little bit, but Toad helps Mario get past some very dumb Toad guards into the Peach Castle.
And I think is he held prisoner at all?
Mario?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Mario. The Mario
just
talks to Peach when she leaves the meeting. They have a meet cute, and they're like best friends already.
uh, yeah, like you said, walk through the courtyard, meet a bunch of toads. Jokes about going through pipes and being exhausting and stuff. Eventually get to Peach. Uh, and she first and exposition about how what Bowser's doing. Um, and I don't know. I should go with this. Uh, my reading here. Fine. Before they head off, Peach and Mario. Peach says, "Oh, for you to be ready to go, you have to beat this challenge I made."
Oh yeah, and then I guess throw in with your turn that the meeting is that they have to talk to the Donkey Kongs because they're the only powerful tribe that's left to fight Bowser.
Mario apparently hates mushrooms because he has to literally eat them to grow big.
Get it? Because it doesn't make any sense when you play video games. Okay. Anyway, so where was I? Sorry. Let's come on. Oh yeah. So Luigi's in. I guess I'll just use my turn for this. Luigi's captured by Bowser, and then Bowser sings a song, and it's Jack Black singing a song, so you think it's gonna be really funny, and I think it's dumb, but it's about because her name's Princess Peach, but it kind of sounds like the fruit peaches. That's it. That's the joke. That's pretty much it. He gives Luigi the exposition that I have to kill everyone to marry Princess Peach. Nothing else matters. Blah blah blah. Like yeah yeah.
Um, guess I'll stay with Luigi for a second, and then you could describe Mario because what happens next is they throw Luigi in prison, and this is where we get the cameo of the I guess you could educate more character names. The Star Baby
They're called Lumas. Luma.
is very nihilistic and wants to die. Um,
Yep. That was really funny the first time I watched the movie. Second time I was like, oh, okay. But yeah.
they're hanging cages over lava, so escape seems and then they have a flashback during that of we get our cameos with Baby Mario and Baby Luigi about how they're like when they're babies,
Just like Muppets Take Manhattan. Go
and how
for it.
Mario would defend Luigi when he got in trouble and help him out. And
Yeah. So Mario and crew go to Donkey Kong Land, and uh, Lanky Kong, I believe, is the king, and he's like a very contrived answer, but I guess it's a movie, very like classical thing. He's like, the only way the Donkey Kongs will help the Peach Kingdom is if someone can beat Donkey Kong in trial by combat, and Mario volunteers.
just want to they, I think, walk all the way to Donkey Kong's.
Yes, I don't remember.
There's a bunch of illusions across. They walk across levels.
Man, yeah. Okay, yep, you're right.
It kind of spoils the end credits because there's a land of Yoshis on the way. They just left the Yoshis out of the whole movie. The end credits would have been a little more shocking because there might have been babies screaming, "Where's Yoshi?" And then
Yeah,
they
you can do the next one. You can do a lot of explanation for what already happened, but yeah, yeah.
um. So before the fight, I believe we get the Bowser at the piano
Oh, this is the
singing
Peaches.
singing the Peach song, which I won't surprise me if it wasn't in the original movie. And Jack Black says, "I have this classic song to sing."
Well, if you hire Tenacious D to be in a movie, I mean, it's kind of what he does now. So yeah, yeah.
And then Bowser slams the cover for the keys on a piano on Kamek's hands. It's a little too violent for arguably any movie, but especially a kids movie like this.
Yeah, they didn't really pay it off because they're trying to establish that he doesn't respect or care about him. But it's not like he got like Kamek turned babyface and attacked Bowser or anything. But whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So after all that, uh, another fairly obvious reference. It's kind of sad in hindsight because the DK rap from DK64, they just play it when Donkey Kong comes out. As a video game fan, it felt very unclever. But I'll just say it real quick. They have the fight. They introduce Mario power ups out of nowhere. It's not really trial by combat anymore. And they do a joke with the micro Mario, and then Mario wins because he gets the cat suit. That was the most boring fight scene ever. But yeah, yeah.
yeah, there's a little scene with that Peach and Mario hanging out in a field and with fire flowers. I'm sure they could use fire flowers. Uh, so is Cranky Kong supposed to be an old Jewish man?
He's an old man. Fun fact for the audience: he's actually supposed to be the elderly version of the Donkey Kong from the arcade game.
Well, Fred Armisen played him as an old Jewish man, but that's one of Fred Armisen's main characters. So,
Yeah,
did you also notice Diddy and Daisy Kong in the audience in the fight?
yeah. There's no doubt. At least Diddy Kong's gonna be a much bigger role in the sequel. But yeah,
All right, moving on with the plot. Mario and Peach are happy that they won, and the Kongs, true to their word, help by, I guess, in this movie universe, the Kongs are expert mechanics.
yeah,
Peach gets a motorcycle. Mario gets his classic car he drives in Mario Kart, and Toad gets a comically giant truck. Uh, for all the problems with this movie, and there's a lot, I think Toad is the best character in this movie. I'm just gonna say it.
I honestly probably well, we can get into that later because yeah. But anyway, I want to briefly mention makes no sense that the Donkey Kongs build Mario Karts because they show in the video games when the Kongs build racing machines, they build like wooden stuff and conga powered jungle things that make a lot more sense for jungle. Just that they invented basic Mario Karts makes no sense to me. But
That was the past. They've been practicing for years how to move from wood to metal.
the Mario Karts existed before Donkey Konga.
And I just wanted to say that Thunderstruck was
Yes.
playing throughout this montage. It's a good song. Good
This wasn't
song.
like our previous episode, Up in Smoke, where a lot of bangers on the pop soundtrack. This was like the only really great song that they played. But, yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. So let's go straight into it, I guess. Uh, they ride the cart down the rainbow. That's convenient. There's a rainbow that goes to Bowser Land. Um, and they're ambushed by the Koopalings in a very direct, unclever sequence. And the most everyone is kidnapped after the carts are destroyed.
Uh, except for Donkey Kong and Mario, because one of the Toads. It was a pretty fun Rainbow Road battle. I'll give it that. It was pretty long. Uh, and one of the there's a giant Toad van. It's not in any of the Mario Kart games that I know of. Blows up a chunk of the Rainbow Road, and Donkey Kong and Mario fall all the way to the underwater and get eaten by some fish, which is probably in one of the games. Um,
I'm confused what the geographical logistics of why the water would be below where the Mushroom Kingdom is, but whatever. But, yeah.
there's gotta be
Space.
water at some point, especially in a Mario movie, if they're gonna make these all
Yeah,
allusions to the games.
that's fair. It's the third most popular level design in the first game, so
Well,
Anyway,
that's. Oh, go ahead. You can take next turn. Sorry.
that's okay. Uh, you kind of covered it. I'll go through all of these three things really quickly. They show the non-Mario DK characters in the jail, whatever, and then DK Mario end up in a whale. I guess you can use half your turn to explain, because all I have here is that DK and Mario got out of the whale while simultaneously the wedding ceremony between Bowser and Peach is starting. So how do they escape from the whale? That's you can go after. You can have another turn after that.
Okay, there's little details you're missing here. Mario and Peach actually initially get away and go all the way back to the Mushroom Kingdom
What?
to get all the Toads to evacuate. Um, but Bowser gets there before, and Bowser tries to convince Peach to come willingly and tell him how much he loves her. Obviously, she doesn't. So Bowser electrifies Toad to force Peach to come to the wedding. Um, and I guess I cut it back to you if you want to talk about how Mario and Donkey Kong get out of the whale and
That's why I threw it back to you. 'Cause I don't remember. They were in the whale and they got out. I don't remember what the
oh,
was.
uh, so the whale has eaten a bunch of things throughout the years, months, days, who knows, and including a bomb. They basically blow up a bomb, and I guess it's his stomach becomes too spicy for him, and the whale jumps up and shoots Mario and Donkey Kong out.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
okay, go ahead. Yeah, where's the
no,
big.
that's okay. You're gonna have to fill in the gaps again probably because I think I was getting kind of racist at the end. I got bored, but so Mario uses they get to the wedding, which I'm sure I'm skipping something, but Mario gets the Tanuki suit, the floating raccoon from Super Mario Bros. 3, and uh, oh, god damn it, because you're gonna you might have to do this whole thing by yourself now. Because but I remember parts of it. There was something about how they Bowser got mad because Mario showed up or something, or they stopped him or something, and he launches a bullet bill to kill everyone.
Oh, you're missing. That's like getting away from the big wedding fight scene. That eventually does happen, but at the wedding, I don't know if Bowser was initially planning on doing this. I can't remember, but he reveals he's gonna put all the prisoners into the lava by slowly dropping them in from their suspended cages.
Okay.
And so Mario and Donkey Kong are running in. This will be very stressful for little kids. It's obviously, people like us, everything's gonna turn out okay. But anyways, Mario and Donkey Kong run through a level like they did with the construct way back in the construction scene. So more look, it's like the games I played. Um, and get there, and then he gets tantalizingly close to put the cages in the lava, and then I think using the flying raccoon Tanuki,
Tanuki, yeah.
they stop the wheel, and Luigi almost gets to is the one that's lowest for some reason, I guess for dramatic purposes, and Mario swoops in and pulls him out. Um, but then, like you say, and I'll let you pick up from here. Uh, Bowser basically unleashes a huge bullet bill to chase after Mario.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's something I'm missing here, but Mario uses the Tanuki flying thing, which, by the way, the Tanuki suit doesn't fly, floats. Flying squirrels don't fly, but whatever. He flies around and he sticks the bullet bill in the only hole he has, which in hindsight is very dangerous, but it's the portal that goes back to the real world.
Yeah.
And there's this massive explosion, and then suddenly everyone's in real world, poorly drawn Brooklyn.
Yes. Like you said, they all get pulled into the to the real world, and including Bowser.
Right.
And Bowser's really pissed, and uh
They have a fight scene.
and they have a big fight with very realistic bruising. It's just like, oh yeah, I love that Mario game where Mario gets uh purple purple welts and black eyes.
Mario is in Mike Tyson's Punch Out song as a referee.
Uh, and I don't remember how in this massive fight, but I guess there's boxes, item boxes, and then there's the invincibility star
Well,
among them.
Bowser has the Power Star the whole time, or whatever, and he wants to use it, and it gets like during the fight gets like launched away. So they're both doing the whole like I thought of Meteor Man. That's the most obscure reference, but the whole like we're gonna catch the star. Oh, who's gonna get it? Oh, so I guess I have to take a turn real quick. So yeah, it was very anticlimactic because Mario grabs the star, and he's got all the superstar powers, and he punches out like everyone, including Bowser.
Yep. And then they force Bowser to take a blue mushroom
This should be yeah,
and
this should be
put him
fun.
in a jar. Um, and the Mario Brothers are heroes.
I will quickly add it's they transition from the jar to the cage mini castle in Peach's castle.
Just want to note, in addition to that, the second good song they use, Mr. Blue Sky, is playing over the wrapping this up thing.
Didn't make any sense in terms of the context of the lyrics or whatever, but
There's literally a blue sky in the Mushroom Kingdom, Jason.
yeah,
Mr. Blue
yeah.
Sky.
Wish I could be 6 years old and write copy for Illumination Entertainment. But so yeah, so then in a very cute sequence, I guess, because they kind of show that they're plumbers again, and it's like, oh, it's back to normal. But then they open the door, and they're plumbers in the Mushroom Kingdom with their vast knowledge of uh, ergonomics in the Mushroom Kingdom and how pipes work.
Yeah, I mean, the baby's got to see Mario live with his princess happily ever after.
Yeah, and then we get. Oh, I guess you can take the next one. There's only two things really. Very small.
Oh, I don't know what because I just have credits next.
Okay, so real quick then. Bowser sings another song in his prison. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't very good. And then,
Oh, that might have been in the credits. He's seeing the extended cut of the preachers, 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 preachers.
yeah, and then of course, you alluded to it earlier. I didn't notice the spoiler as much as you did, but the in the sewer on Earth where the pipe was, there's a egg that's white with green splotches on it, just like Yoshi in Super Mario World. My
Mhm.
out, and the egg starts cracking right when the movie stops. My God.
Uh, and the sequel is coming, as we all know. That's basically it. I
Yep.
have a star guy is playing saxophone in the credits. Is a interesting visual, and I assume this movie was partly filmed in Canada because there was a ton of French names. Like, if you look for that in the credits, there's a ton of French names.
I think Illumination is a French company originally.
Québécois Français.
Uh, Europeano. I don't know how to say it in either language. Okay, let's do our because that took a little longer than expected, but that's fine. But you jump right into our film reader criteria. Who goes first on this? Doesn't
Uh,
matter.
you asked the person who didn't pick the person who didn't pick movie goes first.
Fine. Briefly talk about your thoughts on the concept of this movie, the premise or the core idea of this movie.
I can't say cash grab, but
Yeah, it is.
it's literally throwing in everything from all the video games they could think of. Uh, it's a basic. It, I mean, I don't want to get into the plot too much, but the concept is Mushroom Kingdom, how they get there, and how Mario wins. And they want to throw as many characters as they can uh, to make it. Because we did too. We played a lot of Mario games.
They'll do every day. Right here, right here.
Uh, yes, that's the concept is to turn that love of video games into cashable movie content.
Yeah. I wanted to briefly mention our unofficial sister podcast, but give me a call, Chris, or whatever her name is, because we could do it. What went wrong? Because they were talking about the I forget their names. The Max Headroom people did the '93 live action one that no one likes with John Leguizamo and what's it, Bob Hoskins. But anyway, they're talking about how it's insane. It's really weird because you play the game and it's like you run left to right, you jump a lot, and the game's over. And then you're like, that's really popular. We need to make a movie about it, but what's the plot? And I feel like this movie got the closest to doing like literally as little as you had to do of like, did we cover the jumping? Yes. Did we cover the mushrooms? Yes. You get Goombas in there? Sure. It's just like the most literal one-to-one interpretation, and even as a video game fan, it's like I find it much more fun to explore in a video game than to watch someone play it. And I'd rather someone play a
Uh,
video game than watch an Illumination movie about it. How about that? But yeah.
yeah, just for proper credits, it's Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel
I
who
love Max
directed.
Headroom, and that movie was terrible. People defend it sometimes, but not me.
At least it's trying to be more creative than this.
It was more creative than this. I think this was more cohesive and well made, but different. That's a complex argument, I guess. I'll talk briefly about the characters, both their development and believability. The characters are as vacuous as hell. This might be the worst character movie we've watched in the history of the podcast. It's like that hero's journey by what's his face, the old guy. It's just like literally, what do Mario and Luigi need to do? Oh, who are their friends? Who are their enemies? And there's like almost no variation on that. no depth, no surprising turns of character, no crying. It's just the most like bleh.
Yeah.
Any
I,
thoughts?
I actually thought was not like, I don't know if it's part of the character, but it's the first time I saw this watching this for this podcast. And I actually thought Chris Pratt's accent was a little okay than how it was sold. I mean, that wasn't as good as Charles Martinet, but Charles Martinet didn't do full lines, so I don't,
Yeah, I think the problem with Chris Pratt was the beforehand part, which was that he's not Italian. He doesn't do voices, and they're just like, oh, he's really popular. We should give him this part in a movie. It's like very weird. Yeah, yeah,
um, but yeah, it's just a little sillier, especially with Bowser and Toad. You, s- I guess, I guess a lot of them you don't see how they don't act like they do in the video games because the video games are so focused on the action, they don't talk. Um,
yeah. Closest is Bowser because he goes ho 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 ho, or whatever. But yeah, yeah, yeah,
and he has little funny dialogues with Bowser Jr. and stuff, who is we avoided him in this movie, but not the next one.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
okay,
go ahead. It's a
okay. Talk briefly about the dialogue, quality of the lines, or how natural it sounds to listen to.
um, it's very I don't know. I guess it's pretty basic of very basic comedy, human seeing something crazy happening, and then it's normal for the people living in it. Type of dialogue. Um,
Yeah, it's. I mean,
uh,
and
the attempts at jokes fall completely flat. Um, yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
no,
it,
I mean this dialogue is brutal. It's almost all exposition, and it's not even like interesting exposition that with like multi layers. It's kind of just like, oh, we got to go to B. Oh, but what about C? And it's just like, it really robs the characters of a lot of their personality. I mean, even Bowser and Toad, it's so one note. It's just one joke, but they both get one joke basically. Bowser is like, "Oh, I'm kind of horny and I'm a little outside of this movie," and Toad's like, "Oh, I'm energetic," and it's just like, I mean, that's better, but it's not great. And I just felt like there was no great dialogue you could pick out, no lines you could stick in a quote book or something like that. It was very basic, I guess for children, but and then try to briefly talk about the structure and plot, the organization and flow of the story, and the three-act structure. This movie barely has, I don't think it has a three-act structure. I think it barely has a one-act structure because it's just kind of like, oh, we got to randomly go into the fantasy world, and then we're on this thing, and the movie doesn't do a good job of sort of like making you doubt whether things will succeed. There's no real dark night of the soul. The characters sort of like head in their hands, like, oh, geez, no, can't do it, and and get Marcus's thoughts after this brief break. Welcome back to the show. So we're talking about the structure and plot of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. To briefly summarize what I was getting into, uh, this movie does not have a traditional structure of like surprises or character getting repulsed for what they want. It felt like once they're in the land, it's just sort of like slowly pushing towards the end, and the movie suffered as a result.
uh, main thing I know about the structure slash pacing was this movie races, appropriate, I guess, because there's carts involved. But including credits in this, but I actually numbered the scenes as I was writing notes. Um, so I had everything. I had 41, which seems like a lot for how short a movie it was. Uh, they didn't let any scenes breathe. I honestly, worst movie experience you could have is like a boring movie. It's like the worst movie experience I can think of is like a 3 hour movie where nothing happens. They're just sitting there going, "Oh my God." So it's not movie. It's definitely not that. So I guess it deserves credit for not being boring per se, but I feel like it's I guess a little insensitive to say for someone like ADD or something. Go this thing, 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 and then before you know it, you've seen 5,000 individual characters really crammed
Mm,
as many references as you can, and there'll probably be more in the second one because sequels tend to up the just- instead of making something cinematic, just focused on cramming and hurrying things up.
mm.
Um, that's my biggest flaw in the movie, to be honest, for me.
So I think you touched upon this, but you have any thoughts on additional thoughts on the pacing?
Oh, sorry. Pacing is a separate note than structure.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, pacing was way too fast. Um, they should have cut out some of the interaction with different characters, video game simulation type things, and brought a little more humanity to the characters because they race too quickly uh, to
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I was kind of torn on the pacing because I agree that like if you look at this movie and the way it goes, it's very propulsive and doesn't take a lot of time to speculate. But it felt so slow, and I guess a lot of that is because there's not a lot of differentiation of characterization. There's not a lot of emotional commitment, which I guess is not related to pacing, but I guess in a way it is. Like you think of like something like probably a better example, but like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something. It's like not only does it move quickly, but they do a basic job of being like, these are the characters you like, and these are the characters you don't. And then, like, this movie sort of like it's very observational in its emotional commitment from all the characters. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but yeah, odd,
Yeah.
fast paced, but felt slow as because I wasn't interested. Yeah, the tone of the movie, the overall mood and feeling. God, I think Cash Grab's a little strong, but I did feel like this is very like surface level, safe. Don't worry, kids. This is just a movie about a video game. Nothing's gonna happen to anyone. Just felt very bubbly and you know inauthentic on a dramatic level. It's very odd.
Yeah, the tone is very silly um throughout. Um it's kind of fish out of water-ish kind of when they get sucked into the pipes and the rest of the story.
Right, but I mean, fish out of water, they face the obstacle of integration into society or rejection from the society, or it's like how does he survive in the world? They don't do any of that stuff. But yeah, sorry, but yeah, yeah.
Just let a lot to Mario and Luigi experience things going almost fourth walling it to the camera going shrugging. I don't well, what's that thing?
Smoking mushrooms.
So yes, that I don't know how I don't know how adults are supposed to like this movie. I guess they're totally into the fan service and being. It does look. It's very good. 3D animation or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Computer animated. The technology is advanced for this. Is you definitely can't complain about that. Doesn't nothing looks non-Mario-ish.
I think I think
That's the only appeal for adults I can think of, to be honest.
the main appeal for me, because is and it was definitely more the first time I watched it was like when you play the video games, you're kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's Bowser gonna do after I beat him? Stuff like that, and it's like the movie's kind of the same thing where it's like there's so much video game material to pull from. What are they gonna do with it? Is it gonna, you know, be like this, be like that. And it's like it's just kind of curiosity, I guess. But anyway, where were we? Oh, you could talk about the originality of the story, how unique or fresh it feels.
Oh boy. The only thing's original in this movie, even that's not original because Jack Black does it every time he's on screen at this point. He did it as Kung Fu Panda. Uh, his acting like Jack Black as Bowser. Everything is a rip, or even Seth Rogen. There's little bits of Seth Rogen in Donkey Kong, but Seth Rogen does that all the time. Little bits of Fred Armisen in Cranky Kong. Fred Armisen does it all the time. Zero. It's it's ripping straight from the video games and like being a little more self-aware and telling little kids, "Hey, this is crazy." But it's literally a fan service to video game fans, so there's zero originality.
I mostly agree. Like I mentioned in my structure thing, this is like Hero's Journey for Dummies. They took out two of the acts almost. It's just like very like predictable plot. Reminded me a lot of Wizard of Oz, but Wizard of Oz, despite being even more made for children at the time, has a lot more disconsolation and regret and rejection and failure and all these things. Uh, and so yeah, it felt like they were like, oh, we got to get all these things in. Let's keep going. But the movie's almost original to a fault because we were talking about the logistics of a lot of these things, like, oh, the city's flooding, and then when you get in the sewers, there's nothing there, and there's a big pipe, or hey, they're gonna go in this tube that splits at a cloud, and they're gonna ride carts on a rainbow that goes to the bad guy's house. It's just like it had a lot of well, inferior, original artistic concepts, but they were just so shoved in there and not addressed in a weird way. So it's kind of a mix where it's like it is original in that it's pioneering a lot of the optical things, and it's the only video game movie that bothered to listen to the video games. So it's like kind of a mix where it feels unoriginal watching it, but if you analyze it, it's at least in theory addressing certain things that have never been done in movies before. So it's a mixed bag. Probably still unoriginal, but
It's fair, yeah. They don't quite do what they do in the movie in the video games, technically. So
no,
yeah,
but compare it to like what other video game movies are there? Like the aforementioned '93 movie where they're just like, no, we want to make Blade Runner instead. Get out of our way or whatever. It's like it's this like at least this movie addressed the video games in a way. Yeah, even if it was literally like jump like in the video game. Yeah.
it's been bad B movies otherwise, like X versus Sever and House of the Dead.
Also, not very good video game. Also bad movies, but also bad attempts to address the video game. They're not really uh,
Yeah,
representative. Yeah, yeah. Doom, the Doom thing is close with the movie's horrible with that 2 minute sequence where they have the first person mode or whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. I think I go first on this one. Oh, marketability. This is weird for a movie that's very popular to talk about, but potential for a script to be produced and sold. If I pull myself back, if someone told me about this movie, I'd be like, really? Like, you're gonna make a movie about, like I said, the guy who jumps left to right in the screen and is a pixel, it's like this big with a red hat? Like, I wouldn't have seen it before the movie came out as much. That's all I can say. Obviously, one of the most popular anime movies ever made, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those questions that as adults, uh, it's kind of more what's the point? But as we've seen with, and this is Illumination's made a lot of money doing this. They throw cute visuals to get the kids to come with the minions blew up. in the Despicable Me universe. So it's kind of in high end for them. It's the same formula I have with Despicable Me and the Minions and and this and this was more remarkable because kids watching Mario videos and playing the Mario games eat this up. So it was in hindsight a clear markability win and profit win for Illumination. Uh,
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm kind of surprised no one did this earlier. Like, where was Disney trying to get a deal with Nintendo or something? I guess that's kind of what the first movie was. But yeah.
Nintendo doesn't. I mean, sorry, Disney. Have they really ever pulled from IP for their animated things?
Animated.
Animated IP Disney. Anything? I guess it's like fairy tale stuff. That's not really IP, like with Sleeping Beauty.
No, that's not IP because that's not that doesn't have the market of the sheer market. I guess you could argue literature is IP, but because it is. But I'm trying to think. Tron's the closest one. Even that's original, but it did become a non-Disney IP afterwards, so or before or whatever. So it's like it's close. Yeah, but Disney's becoming more and more consolidated and evil than it used to. So they could easily do something like this if they wanted to. But anyway, that's different podcast, I guess. Uh, so you could go first about the level of conflict in the movie, the central struggle or tension in the film.
Uh, Depends on your age, I think, but uh, to me, the level of conflict felt very low. I mean, you do still have, it's not zero because, like I described when we went over the plot, Bowser literally electrifies Toad to the point,
Yeah,
and Mario gets physical bruises. There's elements of surprise brutality in this film. There's some, but in general, like we've been describing, it's I'm surprised Mario didn't look at the camera and wink uh 50 billion times. 'Cause that's kind of what it felt like. It's
yeah,
uh they have to inject the silly, do something somewhat dramatic and then inject silly into it.
yeah,
Especially with people like Jack Black as is your main villain.
yeah,
So it's a little kids movie, so the conflict can't be too high. And but I think they even overdid that because they didn't give kids any credit and uh main focus making a cute video game adaptation for the babies. So close to close to zero overall.
yeah. I would argue this movie has, like you say, I mean, obviously it has a basic conflict of like good guys and bad guys, but the big structural flaw with the conflict is the protagonist, which is Mario. You could argue Luigi, but all the relationships that should be have a natural conflict are ignored. Mario and Luigi do not have a conflict whatsoever. They're best friends. They're like ciphers for each other practically. And then Mario and Peach, it's like, oh, this is supposed to be the romantic thing. Everyone knows that. But since Mario and Peach have this weird thing in the video games too, where it's like they can't exactly consummate even saying they're boyfriend and girlfriend, that there's no there's no tension of like, oh, will she accept his love? They just don't address it at all, and they kind of fall in as friends, which is also not verbally addressed. And the most obvious thing is Mario and Bowser. The games admittedly didn't do this either, but you think of the classic movie bad guy things where it's like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Oh, Darth Vader's kind of just Luke Skywalker but older, and bad things happen to him. Stuff like that. Mario and Bowser. Mario never gets in direct conflict with Bowser. He meets Peach, who has
Oh,
a governmental conflict with Bowser,
oh,
and then he goes on this adventure with Peach to stop Bowser. But there's never a dialogue or a visual indication that Mario and Bowser hate each other because of XY. Bowser wanted to be Mario and couldn't. Mario wants something that Bowser has, and Bowser can't give it away. There's just none of that like core central tension. So ironically, this movie feels like a ripoff of Hero of a Thousand Faces, and then just ignores the thing that makes the thing interesting. Somehow George Lucas wrote a better screenplay than whoever wrote this. How? Right. So it's zero. Zero. I mean, it does have fights and stuff, but it's just play fighting. It feels like it's just terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of terrible, let's get into our final review before we move on to our too much smaller segments here. Uh, who goes first on this? The guest or the? I guess the guest should go first on this too. So, favorite thing, least favorite thing, and one sentence and final score. You.
I mean, I guess I kind of spoiled it, but my favorite thing was Toad. Um, his Ips. It's one of the few things in the movie that's kind of surprising how excited he is. His excitedness and his randomness give him the best comedic presence in the film, I think. That he immediately says he's best friends with Mario. I thought that was fun. And the giant truck where he's low riding it in the cart scene. I thought that he did that in a funny fashion. And I think Keegan-Michael Key did the voice of Toad, and I think he
Yeah.
did the best job
Yeah.
of his voice is a little fun. Worst thing. Hmm. I already said this too. Jack Black is way too Jack Black. Uh, I guess at this point you can't, especially Illumination. Illumination has no interest in trying to tone down Jack Black, which I kind of get, I guess. But I'm I like my Jack Black a little more subdued, and they just want to go full Jack Black. His stupid song is the worst part of this movie. I guess I'm in the minority there because it kind of exploded virally or whatever.
That's the
His
thing.
little,
It's like people said that at the time, but it has completely gone away by now. It's not the most staying power song ever. But anyway, continue. Yeah, yeah.
gotta always do his Tenacious D thing. You get it. You're in a band. No one else. Why don't you act instead of representing your band? Go before I go say anything more angry.
Do you have a? Did you do like a final sentence of the score or whatever? I mean, you probably.
Oh, score.
Yeah.
That could end on my least favorite thing. It's for babies. Babies love Mario. If they haven't seen it yet, they'll get a kick out of it. They might want to watch it 50 billion times because that's how babies tend to be. We certainly did that. That with certain movies in our childhood. So for parents trying to amuse their children like Mario, it's a 10 out of 10. But for adults, I mean, give it a 3. It looks great. Again, somewhat enjoy all the characters you get to see and stuff in movie form.
Hmm.
But it's pretty forgettable, and there's no point in making this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really struggle to think of my favorite part of the movie, but I will say my favorite part of the movie. It's kind of a cop out, but some of the lesser MCU movies, the same thing. My favorite part was the presence of the Luma, who was a little funny, not super funny, but a little funny. With his deadpan, life is a nihilistic nightmare or stuff like that. And also the Yoshi egg at the end. I just like keeping hope alive vainly for the sequels. That's what the MCU did best, and this movie copied that literally, and it's fine. Least favorite part of the movie kind of took mine with the song. That song is so boring. God, but I'm gonna say my least favorite part of the movie is Jesus. Somebody choose from. I'm gonna a bit of a sneaky one here and say Donkey Kong.
Hmm.
And I mean, it didn't bother me But I mean, kind of like Jack Black or other people, the Seth Rogen casting was really off, and there's so much potential and world building with that character that I know it's made for children, but the games are a lot more complicated than this movie, like every Mario and Donkey Kong game. So sure, mild disappointment. And like you say, the Cranky Kong also a better character in Donkey Kong Bonanza. Now available on Nintendo Switch too. Great game. You should play it. And
It
then
was a great game.
there's probably something worse than that. I'll just go with you and say that Peach's song was boring and not funny. And I don't want. First time I heard it, I was like, oh okay, I kind of get it. And then the second time, I was like, oh, it's just like a dirty song that can't be dirty. It's the most unfunny thing ever. But so that's my real worst. Sorry, my mini review is yeah, I don't even think children and babies should watch this movie. I know they might want to, but go watch. I'm trying to think of a good example of an adventure movie that'd be better. You know, like yeah, the original Star Wars trilogy. Just go watch
Or
that again.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, or
For children, though, I'm thinking too. But yeah,
oh, for children. Princess Bride, that's probably too adult.
no, Princess Bride's better and works for kids. Any of those, or just watch Little Mermaid. There you go. Fine.
Or Toy Story 4 or something.
Yeah, whatever. Any Toy Story. Yeah. All right. That concludes.
Three. Wait, I think I'm at three. Whatever.
I like all Toy Stories, so I mean, it's hard to.
The one with Lotso, the bears, I think
Plug and Bear is three. Yeah, yeah. Four is Forky.
but they're all good. One, two, three, four. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's, I guess, do our two mini segments that I concocted. I made you watch the Nintendo Direct with the reveal of the trailer. I wanted to briefly mention before we talk about the movie that it was pretty weird to hear the American president of Illumination and Jack Black both say, "Thank you, Miyamoto-san."
They're yep. Insight into my life that there's Japanese customers that I deal with, and we have to constantly refer to each other as san. That's an actual thing.
So yeah, it was kind of silly that they made you watch a Nintendo Direct because usually that's like an in-depth, like new video game you don't know about. This was just a trailer for a movie, but do you have any other thoughts about the overall presentation of the trailer, not just the trailer itself? Before we do that,
I've never seen. Of course I've seen Miyamoto. He's a legend. Not a very entertaining video person, but that's not what he does for a living. Um, but the I've never seen the American Illumination guy, and that guy is definitely not an actor. So
he's got a big egg head.
he was trying to comedically play off Jack Black, and he was failing hard.
Jack Black
Um,
too is like kind of like Krusty, I think Krusty the Clown, where he has like the 10,000 cards in his hand, like, hey, what are you doing?
can I kick it back? Jack Black's like, can I kick it back to Miyamoto-san? And then I think his name is Chris.
Yeah, I think that's right.
He
Illumination Man,
goes,
whatever.
"Could I stop you?" And he says it much worse than even I just did.
Yeah. All
And
right.
then
Okay, anything else?
the overall, you want to talk about the trailer?
Yeah, yeah. I want to do like a quick plot thing with the trailer before we talk about the trailer. It's like kind of like the first movie, now with the trailer.
Oh, I didn't take notes on this, so it's not
So
going to be as
I'll go first, and I also didn't take notes. Who cares? But so we open on felt like a surprisingly prolonged. I guess just how these movies work now. Bowser in the mini castle in the castle where he was
yeah.
captured, playing the piano. That's where we open.
Uh, and he's painting too, I think, because he
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
and there's paint. He's walking up the castle steps to go to the top, and then I think there's paintings on the way. And then Mario and Luigi are there to talk to him, and he says, "What do you think of this painting?" And it's Bowser all buffed out with Peach by his side, lovingly embracing him, and then Mario says, "It's terrible," or something like that. And then Bowser, in anger, breaks the painting in half.
So
Uh,
there's two. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
I think that's it for this little scene of Mario and Luigi interacting with tiny Bowser. I
Well,
think.
there's only two things I remember, so I'll see if you remember the other one. Because the thing that happens in the castle is that Bowser Jr. shows up and he's like, "I'm here to get my father back."
Voiced by Benny Safdie of all people.
Look into that. And then you remember the one other thing that happened in the trailer or was shown in the trailer? They talked about it in the direct too, but yeah, yeah.
There's a there's a little montage at some point of a bunch of stars falling by Peach's castle,
Yeah. Which is a reference to the scene they show.
and so I'll get that little scene. A robot comes to get Rosalinda from her
Rosalina.
castle.
There's no D.
What's her name?
Rosalina.
Rosalinda. Maybe a little more Mexican. Wait, I don't know if that's more Mexican. Moving on.
Rosalinda es muy linda. Dun, 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 dun.
Claro que sí. And Rosalina goes full boss mode and uses her wand to blow up this robot chasing her. So she's an action badass coming out in Super Mario Galaxy movie. Wah, wah.
I don't know if it was in the trailer or it was a scene, but they show and we'll talk about that what this comes from in a second, but she's at like a fireplace talking to a bunch of Lumas, and then she's like, I'm gonna read you a story, and then the Lumas are like, what about the plumber? What about the plumber? And then she's like, I've read that one before, and they're like, plumber, 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 and she's like, okay. I don't remember if that was I don't know I don't remember if that was a different scene or in the trailer. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that's the trailer. I don't know if this will sustain, but I wanted to do the categories again for the whole trailer.
Let's get through it. Come on, look like okay.
Yeah, yeah, we can do it quick. Rapid fire. All right, I'll go first. The concept that is conveyed by the trailer, and boy, it feels like more of the same, different characters.
Agreed. I don't have much to add to that.
Characters, so that we see in the trailer, Mario and Luigi, being Luigi.
Are we gonna alternate or
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Characters. Simple characters. Sorry, it's not hard to tell from a trailer, but yeah, yeah.
feel like Bowser Jr. is like Bart and Bowser's like Homer, and because Bowser Jr. is like Bowser with a fox attitude. Fox is not involved in this movie, but that's that's how to describe it. Looks and Rosalina's. There's probably gonna be some romantic thing with Mario and Rosalina and Peach. That Rosalina's the more powerful one. I could see that happening, and then Peach breaks. She can't keep Mario because she's more powerful, but then Mario stays with Peach. I
If it's
anticipate
like,
that.
I want to talk about the games after this a little bit, but if it's like the games, Rosalina is going to be a asexual caretaker of the Lumas, and Peach is still going to be Mario's girlfriend. But we'll see what happens in the movie. Yeah.
I mean, everyone's asexual in the kids' movies. So
I know, but at least Peach is asking Mario to the castle to get some cake.
want
And
some
then we get
cake.
the games. I get this game right here. Right. Uh, I'll go first on the dialogue. It didn't promise to be any better, and it's still very hackneyed, plot-driven dialogue. So yeah.
Yeah, very same. Not much to add.
Uh, anything implied with the structure or plot?
No, it's kind of hard to tell what the plot will be because, like you say, as someone who has played Super Mario Galaxy, like of course you have, um, there's a kind of a lot to the plot, and I don't know how they'll intersperse with the Bowser Jr. coming to save Bowser. So I don't know how they'll fight and whatnot. So I guess that's some
Yeah,
uh suspense to figure out how that will work out. So I imagine Bowser Jr. will be successful to get Bowser out. Um,
yeah. I mean, like the kind of like the MCU trailers where you see a lot of weird stuff going on. And you're like, it gives you hope that there's complexities and plot. Like Yoshi's gonna have to play a big role in this, and I don't really know what that means in terms of the action and stuff. So at the very minimum, the plot scenes were open ended in the first one. I'm sure by the time it comes out, it will not be any different than the first movie. But yeah, I'll talk about the pacing. It felt oddly even slower than the first movie because why are we cutting to the Luma Land in the middle of the Bowser Jr. showing up? That seemed more exciting than the Luma Land. That was weird.
I mean, it's a movie formula that even baby movies have to follow, where the sequels have to up the ante. Bigger villain, more characters,
Is Bowser
more
Jr. a bigger
action.
villain? He's just like a smaller version of the big guy.
But there's two of them. Instead, they're doubling the villains.
Okay.
And it's gonna be, it's kind of spoiled by the title, but instead of just being on the Mario land, they're going to the galaxies and space.
But did you get it? Did you think there was any upward pace movement by introducing Rosalina reading a bedtime story to the Lumas?
Just, no, just for the comedic, comedic,
Yeah.
lame baby comedy thing that they did in the first one.
You know who's great at comedy? Captain Marvel, or whatever her name is.
You know, it's great comedy, Jackie Gleason. But I'm telling you, he's dead and not available.
Yeah, it's a different joke. It's Jackie Leeson. It's very funny, but
I'm just trying to do someone dead, okay?
yeah. Lillian Gish, she's also dead. There you go. All right.
Henry VIII, dead.
Okay. Anything different with the tone?
Um, yeah, I'm actually gonna say yes, I suppose. Just in the trailer, it's not as silly, I guess. I'm not saying it's gonna have gravitas, like it's all of a sudden uh Helm's Deep and Lord of the Rings or something. I don't really thought of that, but I actually because I just listened to a podcast on that. But anyways, but it did seem a little more gravitas to the action. In I mean,
Yeah.
in the Mario reference, so the gravitas is relatively low, but a little more gravitas.
Trailers inherently have more like fast-paced editing and spacing and stuff, but it did give off space opera. It made Bowser Jr. look a lot more powerful than his dad was in the first movie. And for fans of the games, opening up, like you say, space, not just space, but Super Mario Galaxy's world or whatever, it does at least offer like grandiose tones that I'm sure are going to fall apart once characters start to talk. But yeah, yeah.
And actually, they accomplished that gravitas I'm talking about with the music. The music is honestly quite overpowering in the trailer. Uh, we didn't talk about this in the review of the first movie, but the music is very lazy, where it feels like it's just different versions of the Mario theme.
A lot of times it's hard to notice. I noticed the one I was making fun of at the open with the plumbing song was very flat. Admittedly, so was the '90s song, but and DK rap isn't very good. It's like it's just like yeah,
Because it's very disappointing because I haven't gone to a concert of this, but they have guys who just do video game style music and it gets very creative and stuff and
and the games like Super Mario Galaxy has score orchestras.
yeah.
Uh, did you feel this movie was original? This trailer was original.
No.
I mean, it was definitely different to cut to Luma World. I thought Bowser Jr. was wholly unoriginal in presentation. They have a serious issue of how to establish him as like something interesting because if it's not just Dad Part Two or whatever, yeah.
Well, we're definitely gonna play on that. You can bet on that. I can guarantee it.
All right, how marketable does this sequel feel based on the trailer?
I mean, I actually found out at a trivia thing I did last night that this is the highest grossing non-Disney Pixar movie ever, I believe, or something like that. Did very well the first one, and I
Yeah,
think this cow has a lot of milk. Like you can milk it a lot for a lot more. So it's
yeah,
insane from a marketability standpoint.
right. Nitpick, I would say, uh, going to Galaxy from the first movie, and you already have Bowser, so it's like it. I feel like the big marketability was the first movie, and it's to be seen whether this movie's gonna really have any elements that are new that are like, wow, I gotta watch that because the games is the same thing. It's a diminishing return on the NES versus the Galaxy games. People still like the Galaxy games, but it's not the landmark thing that man,
I'm gonna predict it's not much different from the first movie, except they'll be in space, 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 space,
that's
space.
just shame because space offers a lot of opportunities with like space time and time travel and aliens and it's like they're not gonna do any of that shit. But, and then I guess I'll go quickly first on the conflict. I have the same conflict problem I had with the first movie because
Don't preach, Jason.
because they show Bowser in the cage and Mario and Luigi are there, and then Bowser Jr. shows up and he's like, "Give me back my dad." Is this Bowser Jr.'s movie? Mario does not have any conflict with anyone ever in this franchise. What's going on?
Yeah, it really is. Look at all the interesting things around the Mario Brothers instead of them. Which, to be fair, is kind of how the video games work if you think about it. Um,
Yes, but you in the games you control Mario's destiny, and Mario dies if you fail, so it's not entirely Mario independent or whatever. But
yeah. Um, yeah, the conflict, yeah, same, very samesies. You can
and
move on to the next one.
yeah, I appreciate the Lumas. They're very pretty, and we'll talk about the games in it for very briefly in a second, but I just don't see much conflict with having Rosalina there. I mean, they're gonna obviously threaten the Lumas somehow. It's kind of a cheap heat situation, to use a wrestling term. If you threaten to kill the children, that's a pretty easy way to get people to like you on the other side.
Yep.
We're right on the verge. We'll be back after this break. All right. Before we wrap up this extended bonus episode of the show, I want to talk about future of the video games themselves very briefly, because there's some things in connection with this movie that are intriguing that I want to discuss and put out there in case Nintendo's listening and wants to make a game. That'd be great. So a brief history. So I won't go through obviously all the Mario games or even the 3D ones, but I think it's like 2000. I don't know years, whatever. Right after the Switch came out, there was Super Mario Odyssey, which is the last to date 3D game. We both played that.
Hmm.
You fly around the world trying to save Princess Peach with your cap, cleverly named Cappy. And then since that game came out a few years ago, there was a 2D Mario game called Mario Brothers Wonder, which we both also played. You eat the Wonder Flowers and magical things happen. But anyway, the interesting thing about the games and this movie, because the first thing that happened was they announced the title of the movie way before even the trailer came out, the Galaxy movie.
Hmm.
But then in like November this year, they released remastered versions of Super Mario Galaxy 1, Super Mario Galaxy 2 to the Nintendo Switch, which I played on my Nintendo Switch 2. And so the interesting thing is, because there's obviously synergy there, the name of the game, the name of the movie, and I guess I'll briefly mention the plots of the two games in case there's any synergy with the movie. It doesn't seem like it, because they both oddly have the exact same plot. I don't know if you remember this, but Super Mario Galaxy 1, uh, Bowser shows up with this new intergalactic power and kidnaps Princess Peach, and then you rescue her, but in the process of rescuing her, you meet the Lumas and fly around the galaxy and stuff. And then for Super Mario Galaxy 2, almost the exact same thing happens, except instead of hanging out with Rosalina in the second game, you fly a spaceship that's shaped like Mario's head. So I don't know if they'll use any of that for the games. obviously Rosalina's in the movie. They took the most literal part. But here's the interesting part. The only, and really the only thing I want to talk about is because there's been a lot of speculation. Because, like I mentioned, Super Mario Odyssey, that must be like 8 years or something at least since that came out. There hasn't been a 3D Mario game since. And after you beat Super Mario Galaxy 1 in the new version, Rosalina, they do this thing where Rosalina reads from her storybook. And then there's a new storybook entry.
Hmm.
And she's like, it's very like, oh, we're gonna keep traveling in space and go to new galaxies. So there's a chance that the new 3D Mario game will end up being Super Mario Brothers Galaxy 3. That's pretty much all I got.
In terms of putting things in the movies, I'm sure they'll put everything you said in there a little bit.
I don't think
Except the
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mario headship is a little sounds a little weird, but
Yeah,
uh,
it's not very. It wasn't super developed in the game either. It was just like a when you're not playing a level, you can go back to the Mario shaped ship.
we'll see. Yeah, it's gonna up the references, I imagine.
It will need a spaceship of some kind, I imagine, to justify the Galaxy movie name. Yeah, yeah,
And we'll have Charlie Day as Luigi go, "We have to go to space," or something like that.
yeah. Oh well, I don't know about that Mario, and then he'll just do it. He's not one of those characters who's like, I don't want to do something, and then I'm gonna quit. It's like, no, I'll just end up being just as good as Mario. But you know,
Luigi's very clingy to Mario, so he'll always go along if he can.
yeah, yeah. It'd be a really easy way to create tension in a movie if you made the brothers different and had them do different things, but that's not this movie's goal. So no, yeah. But we talk about movies a lot. I want to get my little detective thing about the game. Hopefully, puts it out there in positive energy towards the new Mario game because that'd be great. And that's about it. Anything else you want to mention before we go, Marcus?
Uh, nope, I'm pretty much Marioed out.
Yep. Before and now that we're out of Mario, I guess this is well. Next week will technically be the season finale before I unveil the next season's format. And we go into a off-season mode. So what are we watching for this next and final season episode?
So Nintendo has its own universe, and you made me watch this because I guess you felt that I needed to important I do because I guess we both love Nintendo. Another area of the pop culture landscape that we love is Marvel,
Oh,
and I've seen all the modern Marvel movies and shows, starting with I guess Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Well, that's the MCU. I watched the Sam Raimi Spider-Man's yada yada before that as well. But there's strange going into the Marvel Universe in the 80s that became a feature film that I've never seen. I assume you have, but I want to watch to cross off the Marvel list. That's right. I'm talking about Steve Gerber's comic book movie Howard the Duck.
oh my God! Is it streaming somewhere for free?
No, it's like $3.99 on Amazon.
Okay, but man, you really covering all my bases. Like this, Nintendo, Star Trek, and Steve Gerber's Howard the Duck are like three tent poles of my humanity. But yes, I remember that movie. I did watch it. I remember, not shockingly, not enjoying it that much. Our father swears it's good, but also he hasn't watched it since it came out. So who knows?
We'll see.
So yeah, we'll watch that next week. Uh, Also an alum of What Went Wrong, the podcast. Avoid talking about Jeffrey Jones as much as possible.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But also Tim Robbins and I mean, and what's her face from Back to the Future? It's like all the good famous people in the movie.
The little person who wanted to play a little person in Bruges.
There's actually multiple little people tied to that part. I just listened to the What Went Wrong, so we could talk about that.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Anyway, and we can talk a little bit about the differences with the comic books, since I am overqualified for that as well. All right. Until then, remember, if you see a mushroom, eat it. Doesn't matter what it is. It'll
Unless
surely,
it's blue, because they don't want to get too small.
unless you're Steve Martin, and
But
unless
seriously, don't eat wild mushrooms.
don't listen to Marcus. He's never he's not a hero like this brother.
Jason's eating random mushrooms and endangering his health. Dude.
Book me on your shows, or let's be best friends and hang out maybe. I don't know.